At 10 p.m. on Saturday the 5th of May, 2007, in Pururi Street, Wanganui, New Zealand, a baby girl was tragically killed in a gang drive-by shooting. Tensions had been rising throughout the day between the rival mongrel mob and Black Power gangs. Black Power members had gathered at the Pururi Street property of a patched member to defend it against possible retaliation for incidents that occurred earlier in the day. As the three-car mongrel mob convoy coasted to a halt outside the property, shots from a high-powered hunting rifle rang out. One bullet struck the front room of the house, killing the sleeping girl instantly. Jhia Harmony T2 was 2 years old. This 4-part video playlist contains archival news video of some of the key events from the days following the shooting to the court case 18 months later.
Now to the gang war in Wanganui that's claimed the life of a 2-year-old. The baby girl was hit by a bullet that had been fired into a Black Power gang house. Amanda Gillies joins us now live from Wanganui. Amanda.
Police haven't named the victim yet, but we do know she was 2 years old, an only child and the daughter of a patched Black Power member. The fear now is payback. One shot after another fired into the Black Power home in the dead of the night. One bullet connected the victim, an innocent 2-year-old baby girl. Moments later, neighbours heard a man screaming, "There's a baby dying in there," but she couldn't be saved.
I heard one gunshot, then I got up and looked at the window, then all I seen was all these sparks coming off a car. And then my nanny told me to get down because there were gunshots. Then she went outside and then she came running inside with this little girl, and it had all blood through there and it had a huge rip there and also heaps of blood everywhere.
Got taken to my mum's, they were all running away down the street. And my mum tried to resus it, but no good.
Witnesses say there was a party at the house, about a dozen people. The mood was festive, but it was at about 10 o'clock that 3 carloads of rival gang members turned up, opened fire, then drove off. It was mongrel mob versus Black Power. Payback is feared but expected. Locals are scared. Police are ready.
We need people to remain calm. The worst thing we can have is people seeking retribution, some sort of retaliation.
And you think there will be retribution here?
Well, whenever you're talking about gangs, that's always a prime consideration. If you take a smack at them, they're going to smack you back.
We have cooperation so that we don't have retaliation, and we're working with the wider community with whānau, kaumatuas and iwi.
Police say they have descriptions of vehicles seen in the neighbourhood but refuse to reveal details and claim they don't know what was behind last night's deadly attack.
I can't tell you whether it's territory, turf warfare, drugs. I can't tell you at all what it's about.
The street is favoured by the Black Power and has a history of trouble. It's understood the family targeted last night moved there about 18 months ago.
Gangs everywhere, bloody fights, bloody all sorts. I wouldn't mind actually paying my house off and getting out of the street. Yeah, it's sort of getting to me. Yeah.
Gang tension has been escalating in the city. There were 11 brawls in 2004, 48 last year. Mayor Michael Law says last night's death was sad but not surprising.
I'm very, very angry. As a little 2-year-old girl who meant nothing to nobody except her parents, has been shot dead by murderous cowards.
But he says it's not just the gangs with blood on their hands.
Where the hell is Parliament? Where the hell are our policy makers? Where's head office on police? They have blood on their hands as far as I'm concerned. This was such an obvious outcome.
Wanganui does not want a repeat performance. Out-of-town police officers have been brought in, boosting the inquiry team to around 30. Now, they are all armed and they will be monitoring the streets and the gang areas 24 hours a day for at least the next week.
Amanda, what more can you tell us about the dead baby's family?
Oh, look, they are said to be absolutely devastated. They were both in the house when their little girl was killed. Apparently she was on a couch in the front room. Initially we were told she was asleep, but there are conflicting reports on this, so she very well could have been awake when it happened. Now, the police inspector made a very valid point. He said, look, it doesn't matter what your background is in situations like these. This is a tragedy and everyone sympathises with them.
Amanda Gillies, thanks very much.
Wanganui police say they're ready for the retaliation that Black Power gang members are promising as revenge for the killing of a 2-year-old baby in a shooting at a gang house. In a moment, we'll look at how the government's planning to try to deal with the gang threat. But first, the threat of more bloodshed in Wanganui itself. Amanda Gillies is live with more on the story. Amanda.
The post-mortem is currently being completed. Baby Jhia will then be handed back to her family, who are preparing for her tangi. Meanwhile, armed police are hunting her killer and preparing for payback. Guns on the street of a city, sickened by a gun in the wrong hands. Which member of the mongrel mob shot dead the 2-year-old, Jhia Tetua, isn't clear. What is the real threat of payback? 3 News spoke to Black Power members who were at the house when it happened. When they say they're family, it means blood. Is this war, though?
Yeah, it is now.
What's going to happen?
I don't know, you just have to wait and see.
What is this all over? Is it turf? Is it drugs? Is it money? What are you guys fighting about?
Colours, I guess, eh?
Red versus blue?
Yeah.
I'll kill 5 of those nuts and the store won't bring that baby back.
Oh, what goes around comes around.
Retribution is not the answer. We don't want a further tragedy in our community.
The shooting came after a clash between gang members at a rugby league match on Saturday afternoon. That night, the mongrel mob paid Black Power a visit. Bottles and abuse were hurled.
You had a bit of an altercation with them?
Bit of stupidity, I reckon. That's what happened. For them to come up in our hood.
But at 10 p.m, 3 carloads of mob members returned with rifles, opened fire and drove off. Police won't say how many shots were fired, but 1 bullet went straight into Jhia. She became a victim simply because her dad is a patched Black Power member.
She's the most beautiful little baby, you know. So cute. Yeah, everyone just loved that kid, eh? We used to babysit her all the time. Her parents loved her.
Jhia, whose name is a combination of her parents Josh and Rhea, attended the local kohanga. She was learning to sing and had just been promoted a class. The kohanga has now been closed for the week, and most will attend her tangi to be held out of town.
We had a little giggle about Jhia this morning because when she did come to kohanga, she would smell so good. We'd all chase her and she'd run to each of us and we'd have a good sniff of us. So she usually smelled like lavender and some nice little hair products that she would have.
Preparing for retaliation, they say they have taken the necessary steps and put a contingency plan in place. Now, I asked what this included: armed defender squad, extra police, weapons, helicopters, but they refused to be drawn on this, but they did confirm there will be a police presence at the tangi on Thursday.
Amanda, thank you.
It's been a weekend of it, hasn't it? I mean, what do you say about the weekend? 2 Wanganui gangs, Black Power and mongrel mob, are at loggerheads, and 2-year-old Jhia is dead. She was murdered while lying on a couch at home in a drive-by shooting some say was meant for her father. Jhia, according to her local kohanga reo, was inquisitive, intelligent and immaculately cared for by her mother. She always smelt gorgeous, they said. For years now, there have been calls to outlaw gangs, and now the government is saying they're looking at tougher options. But New Zealand First MP Ron Mark says it comes far too late. He accuses the government of being soft.